shock and disaster in America, Iran reveals the hidden. And the strategic bomber B-2, the pride of American technology, has turned into nothing more than useless military scrap, and the real Netanyahu has yet to appear. And India reveals major disagreements within the BRICS group because of the war on Iran. And what is the secret that made Iran use the Hajj Qasem missile for the first time? And why was Ali Larijani assassinated exactly? It is clear that this war will not end until this entity is eliminated. We have all these details today, so let's wrap up and move on. Stay with us. Dear viewers, peace be upon you and God's mercy and blessings. Welcome to our program today in this new episode, God willing, from the series of opinion episodes. It's clear today, dear viewers, that this tempting amount of $10 million, which the US State Department offered as a reward to anyone who provides information about the whereabouts of 10 top political and security leaders in Iran. It's clear that it has produced impressive and remarkable results, for Israel. In just 2 days, this Epstein alliance managed to eliminate 3 out of the 10 leaders. Today, Israel announced its success in assassinating the Iranian Minister of Intelligence, Esmail Khatib, adding to what happened yesterday. Ali Larijani and also the commander of the Basij forces, who were assassinated yesterday. In every war against this Israeli entity, we are always reminded of the truth of the famous saying by the late Chinese leader Mao Zedong, who said that an external enemy can only win if there are traitors on the inside. And the saying that 9 bullets should be prepared for the traitors and only 1 bullet for the enemy. What's strange today is that the path of deception by President Donald Trump is still ongoing. Despite this dangerous entanglement in this quagmire, despite everything happening to America today, Trump continues to get more and more involved in this war. What's strange today is that the intelligence information comes from America, but the assassinations are carried out by Israeli forces. This is what's clear to the world today, because it's the US State Department that offered the reward for anyone who provides this information. This means that even America is involved in these assassinations. That's why I say it's strange, because President Trump, who is looking for a way out of this war and who set a deadline for the Israelis to end this war by the end of this week, we find that, on the contrary, he is getting more and more involved in this war. Because, for example, what happened yesterday when Ali Larijani was assassinated is a disaster for America before anything else. Pay close attention. America believes that in these remaining days of this week, they will succeed in eliminating these 10 leaders, and as a result, the Iranian regime will collapse immediately afterwards. So, pay close attention. This is how Trump is being deceived again by the Israelis. But the reality is the opposite. He is getting more and more involved in this war. Because when we talk about this key figure, Ali Larijani is a well-known person, known for being a skilled and pragmatic politician, not fanatical, and he had a realistic outlook on matters. He knows exactly when it is necessary to be firm and when concessions should be made. Therefore, Ali Larijani, although he was the Secretary General of the National Security Council in Iran, he was effectively acting as the foreign minister. In fact, he was the real foreign minister. The foreign ministry's portfolio was in his hands. He was the one negotiating with the Chinese and succeeded in bringing in investments worth $400 billion. He was also negotiating with the Russians, and recently he was also negotiating with the Americans. As I mentioned, he's pragmatic. He knows when to escalate or make concessions. So what is noticeable today is that when such a pivotal figure is assassinated, it's as if they're saying, we don't want someone like this. We don't want someone who can negotiate, make concessions, and find a middle ground and so on. It's as if they're saying, we want the confrontation to continue. We want the war to go on. because there is no one today who can do this. The role that Ali Larijani played in Iran, he had both authority and pragmatism at the same time. Now, Iran has only two paths, either moving towards the traditional conservatives, the hardliner camp, and thus towards continuous escalation. We're talking about leaders who have strong personalities, who possess leadership and hold the reins of power, or moving towards a liberal Iran, surrender, submission. This camp, represented by the Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian, is a weak camp that does not hold power. Therefore, of course, in both cases, this does not serve American interests at all, nor does it serve Trump's interests at all. Because now, the person who had the power and the decision is gone, and at the same time, he could negotiate and could make concessions on some conditions. Therefore, Iran is now moving toward a more hardline stance, definitely refusing to enter into any negotiations. The continuation of this war until achieving the greatest victory, and for Iran, this greatest victory is the disappearance of the entity. Since its establishment, for them, the disappearance of the entity is the true victory. Because after the end of this week, America will withdraw from this war. And America, so that everyone knows, the maximum period it can stay in this war is 2 months. We are now in the 3rd week, which means there is about 1 month left, more or less. Why am I saying this? Because American law gives the American president the right to wage war without Congress's approval for a limited period of only 2 months. After that, meaning any military operation that happens after that, Trump will be required to stop the war and go back to Congress. Therefore, in the end, without talking about military attrition and so on, in the end, America will withdraw from this war, whether today or tomorrow. Who will remain? Will the Israeli entity be left alone then? No one can determine how things will go, what the fate of the Israeli entity will be. According to what is clear now, the war will continue until we witness the scenario of disappearance. If Trump wants to withdraw, the Israeli entity does not want to withdraw, it wants to continue, it believes it is capable of toppling the Iranian regime. And here I return to what I said in a series of previous episodes. The Iranian regime will not collapse and will not surrender except with the complete destruction of the region. And the last card it will play is announcing the possession of nuclear weapons or destroying the Israeli nuclear reactors. The important thing is, total destruction means the complete destruction of the region. Therefore, I say that the assassination of Ali Larijani is a dangerous turning point in this war. And now we have actually started to experience this shift. We are really starting to live it, which means we are getting very close to the scenario of annihilation. Yesterday, dear viewers, the Israeli entity published a photo and videos of Netanyahu in an attempt to prove that Netanyahu is still alive and in good health. However, with every appearance, it becomes clear that in these appearances, the photos and videos are fabricated using old images and videos, with changes made to them using artificial intelligence. For example, the speech in this video, which was originally about the Gaza war, is altered to be about the Iran war. And so it is clear today that up until this moment, the real Netanyahu has not appeared yet. Today, we are more certain that something serious has happened to Netanyahu, and that the Israeli Mossad is trying to hide it so as not to give Iran the joy of victory. And so as not to confuse the Israeli public with a number of questions. Who is leading the Israeli entity? What now? Who can lead Israel now? And so on. It's clear that the Israeli Mossad has failed miserably to hide this fact. It tried with videos, it tried with photos, but every time it was detected that they were old pictures or videos fabricated with artificial intelligence. For it's a bit difficult to confirm that easily. So, as I said, they just make a simple edit, for example, making it about Iran instead of the real topic in the video, like Gaza or Lebanon or something else. The truth is, the real Netanyahu did not appear. What's new today as well is that yesterday, for the first time, Iran used strikes on Tel Aviv, targeting unspecified objectives. These targets were not identified. They used the Hajj Qasim missile, which is a ballistic missile with a medium range of about 1,400 kilometers, reaching up to 1,200 kilometers in its upgraded versions. It has a warhead weighing half a ton and is distinguished by its quick preparation and launch, not requiring a long time to get ready. But what's new about this missile is that it is equipped with advanced technologies resistant to electronic warfare, meaning it is capable of bypassing all air defense systems, including the THAAD system. The interesting thing is that this missile was first revealed in 2020, so we're talking about 5 or 6 years ago from today, but this missile has undergone development. Last year, developed versions of it were announced, and it was named Qasim Basir. This new version includes an optical thermal guidance system. What does that mean? This means that the system enables it to hit targets with high accuracy, and what's interesting is that it even allows it to hit moving targets such as ships, aircraft carriers, and so on. But Iran did not specify exactly what it launched yesterday, whether it was the old version or the upgraded version of this missile. If it was the old version, this means we're only talking about getting rid of old stock. We're talking about old inventory that dates back 5 or 6 years from today. And this really confirms that Iran still has a very large number of old missiles to this day. But if it was from the modern and upgraded version that was revealed last year, this means the strike was targeting a specific objective, and that objective was definitely one of the American ships. And it's clear, dear viewers, that right after this missile strike, the Iranian naval forces came out confirming that they had carried out an operation against the aircraft carrier. The USS Lincoln said that this strike made the aircraft carrier withdraw and leave the area. Is this matter related to this missile or not? That cannot be confirmed. The important thing is that the war still holds many surprises. Iran still has cards and new weapons that it hasn't used yet. That's on one hand. On the other hand, there was news revealed today that was shocking for America. Chinese newspaper. It revealed a shocking operation carried out by the Chinese army through this war on Iran. What did it say? It said that the Chinese army succeeded in disabling the stealth technologies used by American strategic bombers. The B-2 stealth aircraft, it said that these aircraft, when they were carrying out air raids on Iran, on March 1st exactly, it specified the exact day. On March 1st, the Chinese army, with the help of artificial intelligence, was monitoring and tracking and trying to break and trying. This secret that America used to boast about, meaning that it always had a stealth bomber capable of striking any area in the world, undetectable by radars, air defense systems, and so on. So the shocking thing is that China succeeded in intercepting the wireless communications of this aircraft. This means that the aircraft became detectable, and if you can understand it, it becomes detectable, which means it can be tracked, and if it can be tracked, it can be intercepted. This means that today we are entering a new phase, the end of American technological dominance, the end of the B-2 legend and its message. China is clear. Technological superiority is no longer in America's hands. China now possesses greater technological capabilities than America and achieves these technologies at a lower cost. So, if America spends trillions of dollars to achieve military technological advancement, China spends only hundreds of millions of dollars for the same result. So pay close attention. When we say that Trump dragged America into a dangerous war of attrition, this is exactly what we mean today, attrition. It's not just about the number of missiles and so on, but even making such advanced American weapons subject to testing by the Chinese, at a time when America is deploying these advanced technologies to the region. What is China doing? They monitor, observe, uncover flaws and vulnerabilities, and gather enough information. Military and intelligence information and so on. Where is it today? It's over Iranian territory, isn't it? I believe this is the agreement in place today between China and Iran. Iran receives intelligence support through satellite images and so on, in exchange for allowing Chinese experts to be deployed in the region to monitor and gather information about the American military. That's why today we find that Chinese intelligence support is limited only to the American military bases in the region. It does not include the Israeli entity. Trump is the one who got America involved in this. He is the one who allowed China and its manufacturers to reach this level today, when he dragged America into this war, a war that is clearly going to bring about change. The map of the world, not just the map of the Middle East, but the map of the entire world. Today, there was a statement from the spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in India. He said that there are now major disagreements within the BRICS group among the member states, and he said that these disagreements are because of this war on Iran. He said that India is now presiding over the BRICS group, and therefore it is working to resolve these disagreements. Here, India did not specify exactly the nature of these disagreements, nor did it mention exactly which countries are involved. But what is clear is that the country causing this disagreement is a single state in this group, which is the United Arab Emirates. Because if we look at the BRICS member states, we find that they are either countries that are permanent allies of Iran, like China, Russia and South Africa, or neutral countries like Egypt and Indonesia, or countries close to the Israeli entity that serve Israeli agendas, such as the United Arab Emirates and Ethiopia. Therefore, it is clear that the disagreements mostly come from the UAE. Why is it the UAE that is suffering from this war on all levels today? But what is clear today is that this war will reveal how dangerous it is to include some countries in the BRICS group, which is actually just a Trojan horse. That is, countries that are strongly connected to the West and to the Israeli entity. This war will reveal how necessary it is to expel these countries if they want to succeed and continue in this group. Because the real disagreements today are not about the war, but about the true goals of BRICS. Why was BRICS formed? Who is the real enemy of BRICS? We are talking about a major country that is currently facing direct aggression from the Epstein Alliance. Things are clear, which means there should be clear and explicit support for Iran. So today, BRICS is truly facing a real test, a real and unprecedented test. We will see exactly how this test will end. That's all we have for today. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Peace be upon you and God's mercy and blessings. See you next time.